Hi guys! I am Tatiana Garcia, the Purpose Map creator, and tonight I'm going to share a very special story with you. A story that actually changed my entire life and changed the way I see the world, changed the way I work, and changed the way I realized all of my dreams and everything I really wanted, okay? I was 24 years old, and I was living in Brazil, where I'm from, okay? I was having like a normal life. I was studying, working, and doing everything that all my friends was doing at the moment. But then one day I realized that I want to change. I wanted to learn something different. I wanted to learn a different culture. I wanted to learn how to be independent. I wanted to take my own risks. And then I decided back there to go and travel to Australia. The people from my age used to go to United States or Canada or something like that. But then I decided to go to a very far away place because I really wanted to be responsible for my own risks and for my own life. So I remember when I was choosing the place I wanted to go, and it was like the farthest place in the map, like in the globe. So then I decided to do this overseas trip. It was just something that came from inside. I felt it, and I felt it so strong. But then when I decided to tell people, look, I've got a dream and I'm going to Australia, I got a bit surprised because everyone around me didn't really support me. Okay, so like, I'm sorry my friends that are watching me or my family, but people didn't really support me. Right? So people said things like, I'm happy you decided to go to Australia, but if something happened, remember, I'm always going to be here for you. They said that to me. But you know what? This is not a support. Because they're telling you that things might happen and you might not be able to deal with, and then they'll be back here in Brazil to support you once you come back. So that's not a real support. That's not a support. But then I decided to go. And to say that I didn't really have any support, I had two people that really support me. Unfortunately, they passed away. One of them was my grandma, and the other one my uncle. My grandma passed away when I was about to go, it was like 4 days before to go. And my uncle passed away when I was in Australia already. But two people is nothing when you have like this bunch of friends and this bunch of people around you. I was 24 years old when I decided to go to Australia. When I was about 22 years old, that I felt this inner voice, that very strong feeling inside of me. I had 2 years to save money. So I had these 2 years where I work hard and I save money, and I got the amount of money I wanted to go to Australia. But what I'm here to tell you is not that I went to Australia and I did like this overseas trip, but what I wanted to tell you is what changed my life after that. By the time I arrived in Australia, I felt that every single thing is possible and I could be able to realize everything I wanted. But every single thing is possible when you hear and you listen to your inner voice. And that's the reason why I'm sharing this video with you. And that inner voice doesn't really lie to you. That inner voice is real, is strong, and it's something you can't even explain. And you just feel that you have to go. Every time you have that voice inside of you, you must hear it and you must do what this voice is telling you to do. And the second thing I had to do in order to realize that dream was to say no to every single person that was on my way telling me that I wasn't able to do. That was like a very important thing. And when I say any single person, I mean it. You cannot listen to those people. You can only listen to the ones that say yes to you. And those for me was only 2 people. You might say to me, look, you're not going to listen to those people. What if those people are telling you some good advices? Look, I have 2 things to tell you. First is that if there are things you must know, like that will protect you from like bad events, you will know them by the time you go there, and you're gonna learn by yourself. You're gonna learn by the experiences itself. And the second thing is like that inner voice is so real and it's so true, and you can 100% trust on that inner voice, that if there is really something really bad that might happen with you, that inner voice will tell you. Let's say when I went to Australia, I actually lived like very difficult moments and I had to go through some very hard times, but those hard times was a learning process for me. So that inner voice will tell you always to go to good places, or to places that you're going to be learning and you're going to be progressing, right? You must be honest with yourself, because sometimes you have this dream, you have this desire, and this dream is something that you want to have, or is something that is real cool and people are doing at that moment and it's nice for you to do. It has like a bit of status, and you need to be honest with yourself, because that inner voice, it only works if it's a real one. It can't be like something that you think is cool, right? So if you listen to this inner voice in an honest and real way, that inner voice is never wrong. Is never wrong. That inner voice is actually the voice that has and contains the whole truth. So I listened to this inner voice. I said no to everyone that is on my way, and then I went to Australia, and everything changed for me. Things changed in my life so much after going to Australia, and that's the whole magic of everything. Because when I went to Australia, I want to take risks. I want to go over my limits. I want to challenge myself, be more strong, be more powerful, right? And I actually got this. Everything I wanted to do in Australia, I was able to do. So I've learned English, I've learned how to survive by my own. I've learned a different culture. I actually had an experience in an international company. So I had everything I wanted to. I was more of myself. Because I remember back in Brazil, I had a bit of adventure thing inside of me. But I didn't put out, because people in Brazil are afraid of doing things. They're a bit concerned about what people would think about them. So back in Brazil, I was a bit shy of doing things I wanted. And once I was in Australia, I was able to do myself entirely. I was more brave. And then I remember I was doing like some radical sports, some adventure things, and doing some campings, and I was exploring a different side of myself, which is a very Australian culture. Like the way the Australians travel, it's very different than the way the Brazilians do. So I've learned all of this different culture that it was actually within myself. I realized that what I was going to do in Australia was to actually find out a different side of myself. And that was amazing, amazing. And I've learned all of that. And that was the first step of my realization path, right? So after Australia, I was able to, after 3 years living in Australia, I was able to save more money and to do a bigger dream. So then I travel the world. I visit more than 25 countries. And then I did that on my own. And then I've learned how to become even more creative, even more capable of everything I wanted to be. And I've learned all of these different culture. I met so many people, so many nice things happened with me. And then I went back to Brazil. And I went through many things, and I won't tell you in this video because it's a lot of things I went through it. But what I want to tell you is that from that first day, like the day one that I decided to go to Australia, even though people were all against me, I started a journey that took me about 10 years. Took me about 10 years into last year that I found my life purpose. And I know myself that the only reason why I found my life purpose, which makes me work today in a very peaceful way, in a very joyful way, was because from that day one, I've changed my vision of life. I changed the way I see the world. I changed my habits. And then everything started after that. So if I didn't took the first step back there in 10 years ago, I wasn't able to do this video and tell you that I found my life purpose, and that changed my life completely. And now I know that the first step I took back in Brazil, it was just for one reason, because I was seeking my life purpose. And I didn't really know how to find it. I didn't really know how was the way, if it had like a right way or a wrong way. I just followed my inner voice. My inner voice led me to the right path, into a day that I found my life purpose. So I'm sure that your path is different than my path. I'm sure that your journey is different than mine. But the only thing I had today is my story to share with you, and then inspire you to be more you, to be more authentic. And if you do that, so I guarantee that you're going to find your life purpose. And once you do that, your life will be more meaningful. You will understand the reason why you're here for, the reason why you wake up every day, and the reason why you're born to. And you can follow your inner voice, and you can still say no to people. But until the day you find your life purpose, things might go a bit dark sometimes. And once you find your life purpose, things goes like more bright, and you can see joy in every single moment. And that really changed my life. So the reason why I'm here is to tell you that if you take the first step, everything else can go a way more easy. Okay? After this long journey, I create this map where I help people to find their own purpose, and I help them, like I guide them, because it's a very hard path and you have to go on your own. But if you have a little bit of help from someone that already went through this path, I'm sure it's going to be easier. So if you are a bit lost, if you went halfway and you want to help to go further, if you want to have a half an hour chat with me, like a free 30 minutes chat, so then we can see what you needed, how you're feeling at this moment, and then we can see how we can work together and how I will be able to help you, because that's my purpose. My purpose today is to help you guys to find your life purpose. I know myself how hard it is and how dark it is to live without knowing your life purpose. Like, my dream today is to see a world where people can live their life purpose. So if you imagine the entire world and every single person living their life purpose, bad events won't happen, and war won't happen, and all these bad things that happen all over the time, all over the world and all the time, I'm sure it won't happen. So the more people know their life purpose, the less evil are in this world. So if you want to spread this message, share this live, this video as well with your friends or in your timeline, so we are going to have more people happy, with joy, feeling and working with their heart. Okay, my friends, bye, kisses from Brazil.